Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about the Forspoken demo, or the Forspoken reviews that are going out all over the place right now. It doesn't look good when it comes to these reviews, guys. Now, I want to take a minute and kind of explain my stance on Forspoken as we sit here. It's 7 o'clock. I should be able to start playing it in just under 3 hours. I want to at least get an hour into the game tonight. I'll put out a first impressions video tonight to let you guys know how I'm feeling, because that'll be my first real experience with like the beginning of the story. Going forward, I'll get you at least a 5-10 minute video tonight on how I'm feeling about that, because that's like one of the things that I'm still like, oh boy, I don't know, kind of on the fence about. Don't really know much about it, but I haven't watched anybody else's review. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to I'm not gonna, subject myself to any negativity toward this game right now. I want to be as fair and clear headed about Forspoken as I can going into it. So, man, I'm really excited about this game, and I'm trying to read like the comments and stuff in the comment section under the videos. I'm trying to be as I'm trying to be as calm as I possibly can. I don't want to fill anybody with false hope, thinking that, oh my gosh, Forspoken's going to be great. But I also don't want people to feel like I'm not excited about this game, because I am. I'm truly excited about this game. I'm definitely more excited about this than I am Dead Space Remake or the other game that's supposedly, what other game is coming out this month? I don't know, but I'm more excited about Forspoken right now than I am a lot of things out there on the horizon. Next month, we got the Hogwarts and we got Wanted Dead. Those two games I'm definitely getting. Definitely excited for them. We've got the Xbox show coming up here on the 25th. We're going to know more about that. Then we'll be able to start, getting excited about what Xbox has got coming this year. But right now, guys, my attention's on Forspoken. Like, I'm really excited about this. I just picked up a copy of Ghost Recon Breakpoint on PC. It's on Steam now. You can get that for $12 if you jump in there right now and get that. So I picked that up. And I've just been sitting here for a little while. I was playing around with that, and I just keep thinking, I'm like, gosh dang, man, I just want the clock to go by so that I can get into this Forspoken and start checking it out. I'm going to be as honest as I can with you right now about this. I am getting Forspoken because it is something that I want to play. Generally, when I go into a game on this channel, usually, for the most part, it's always something that I'm interested in. Now, I have been given code for games that I wasn't interested in, or that I had like a little bit of interest in them, but not enough to like really focus my time and energy toward them. But Forspoken is one of those games, and here's the thing, man. When I usually go for games that I like, or that I'm interested in, I tend to be a little bit more lenient toward those games for the most part. If it's something that I can play and say 70% of the game works pretty good, and there's only 30% of stuff that I'm like, ooh boy, I don't know about that. If I could find a way to get over it in my mind, usually that I don't really sit and dwell too much on the negative aspects all the time, unless it's a game like God of War Ragnarok that I was truly freaking hyped for and expected like this big freaking like I expected so much more out of God of War Ragnarok that my overhype kind of ruined that game a little bit for me, because I was just so hyped for it, and then I get 5 hours into the game and it starts to slow down and the pacing just gets really, really bad, and I'm expecting it to be this epic conclusion of the Norse saga, and it turns out to just be like, kumbaya, and I was like, all right, whatever, so I try not to dwell too much on it, but that was my biggest disappointment of last year. Forspoken, on the other hand, because it's an open world game, I'm going to get a lot more playtime out of that. And like I just told you, I brought up, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is because I already own that game on Xbox. I bought it again on PC. just so I could see the visuals at a higher frame rate and everything. And that's a world that I will continue to explore for a while. Like, I have no intentions of not continuing to play Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Like, I love that game. And Forspoken, man, Forspoken's got the coolest third person parkour I've ever seen in my life, and it's so fluid and it feels great. So I'm truly excited to play that. I was playing the demo again today. Like, I just can't get enough of Forspoken. I really like this game. So, I mean, you might be able to think that, like, oh man, this guy's biased, he's biased, he's just going to defend it, whatever. I mean, and that might be the case. That might be the case. If I really like a game, I do go to bat for him. And I try to get people to see, like different sides of it, because sometimes, man, as gamers, if the company's going to ask you to put $70 out there for their game on day one, especially with the way things have been going, we've been getting buggy, broken, busted games that just don't accumulate to that sense of quality or polish that we've come to expect, but or that we want to see, but they always end up falling short one way or another. That's just games in general, man. I've been playing games since I was 5 years old. Man, and I've yet to find a game that comes out literally perfect. I've yet to find one that checks every single box like literally perfect at launch. But there are games that, that like The Witcher 3, truly an amazing experience. I love that game. And it's now my number one favorite game of all time. But I'm also somebody that really appreciated Death Stranding. I love Death Stranding. And there's a lot of similarities between Death Stranding and Forspoken for me. And that mainly comes to world traversal mechanics. And in Death Stranding, you had to map out and plan your the biggest part of the game for me was getting through the terrain. And that's just, part of, that's like baked into the Death Stranding, gameplay loop model, being able to traverse that treacherous landscape and deliver all those packages and stuff at the same time. Like, yeah, dude, I know how it sounds. But there's an amazing story in Death Stranding that you're never going to play. Because some reviewer said it was bad, because a whole bunch of reviewers were like, oh man, that game's a walking simulator and stuff. So you will never experience that because of their negativity. When Death Stranding is literally my favorite Kojima game ever made. Way better than freaking any of the Metal Gears. Way better. It is probably his finest work, and I loved it. I thought it was incredible. The story was great. It felt good. The quality was there. The I love open world games. So that's like one of the reasons why I really love it. And open world games up till Death Stranding were starting to get stale. They were starting to fall apart a little bit. They were just, the same thing. But I mean, there's another beautiful place that I would go and I'd explore and I'd have fun, whatever. But Death Stranding really was like, whoa, dude, check this world out. Now go. And I was like, whoa, this is the coolest thing, making the traversal part of the gameplay loop to where you have to use different ways to get around. Like, it was incredible. I remember being like, getting on Twitter and telling Ubisoft, I was like, I want a way to rappel and Ghost Recon Breakpoint, like freaking out on them. Like, if they can do it in Death Stranding, why can't I get a rope so I can rappel? And I was always like on Twitter, going at Ubisoft, going at Ubisoft for Ghost Recon Breakpoint not letting us rappel. I think that would have been a really cool mechanic in Ghost Recon, or just, having it so like other people can invade your game as wolves. That would have been cool too. That would have been cool. That would have put Ghost Recon Breakpoint like at the top of the map. But they're like, yeah, you're gonna explore with this. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna make a games as a service. I'm like, no, dude, just make it so people can invade your game and everybody will buy Ghost Recon Breakpoint. But that's what gets me back to Forspoken in the world traversal. Like, I freaking love that parkour system that they have in Forspoken. And me personally, I'm the kind of guy that's gonna sit there and I'm gonna explore Athia. I'm gonna find things. I'm gonna see so much of that world that most of these reviewers that are like getting through the game really quick so they can review it. They're like, yeah, man, it was a short game, stuff like that. man, the average Ubisoft game for me is like 130 hours. That's the average time that I put into those open world games. I spent 50 freaking hours in Steep, literally just hiking those mountains. Just hiking. I would get on my board and I would ride all the way to the edge of the map and I would hike all the way back up to like the top. That was fun for me. That was fun for me. I thought it was cool. It entertained me. It gave me something to do. It it gave me that sense of wonder, man. Like I want to just go out and I want to hike the snowy mountains and stuff. And I'd go and I'd hike them and I'd snowboard down and I'd hike them and I'd snowboard down. And that was fun for me. That was fun. Like I literally got way more playtime out of Steep than the average player would have been like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to fast travel and stuff like that. And that's fine. Whatever. You play your games the way you want to play them. But for me, the way I get that enjoyment and that sense of accomplishment and that sense of that sense of being able to explore that game and to role play as that character and stuff, that's pretty cool, man. I love that. I do. I feel like if it wasn't for like open world games, I probably would have, man. I probably would have quit if everything was in the the linear story mode like God of War and stuff like that or Devil May Cry. I probably would have quit playing games a long time ago because there's literally very little value in replaying a heavy story game. Like unless you really love that story, like I bet I could play The Last of Us, the first game, a few times. I bet I could probably get through that game every year just because it's good and it's got a really good story and the gameplay mechanics and that are pretty cool. So I could probably do that. The second game, I've tried playing it a couple of times. I've gotten through about I'm on my second playthrough and I'm about halfway through Abby's playthrough and yeah, man, I just lose interest in it after a while and I don't know why. I get in there and I'll play it for about a half hour and then I'm just like, yeah, I want to play something else. It's just sometimes those heavy story games they really do because they're so guided, not hand holdy, but they're so guided that like you see the same thing. It doesn't matter how you walk at it; it's still going to be the same cutscene, still going to be the same outcome. And to me, like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I can play through it and I can get faster each time I play through it, but there's really not a lot of replay value to that. Like a big open world game. I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing this demo. I've been playing the Forspoken demo. Um, I've gotten about, I'd say close to 20 hours into that demo. And, I'm still finding things just today that I hadn't went and did because I don't really pull up the map and look at all the little things and stuff. I just explore it until I run into something and I'm like, oh yeah, that's freaking pretty cool. So then I go and I find it and I love that. I love that about open world games and that's just an experience that you don't normally find in a lot of places. Like there's definitely a lot of open world games, and not all open world games are worth playing. But I feel like to me, Forspoken's going to be something special. Now I have. Let me address some of the comments that I have received. The stuff about it being like 15 frames or 720p or some stuff like that. Have you ever noticed? Ask yourself this. Have you ever noticed when Digital Foundry says, ooh, it drops down to 720p or something? You literally have to freeze the frame to see. You have to freeze the frame to count those pixels. Like on my editing software, I can go frame by frame and I can find the one that's the blurriest and I can count the pixels in there to find out. And there's 60 frames in 1 second. 60 of those in 1 second. So maybe you get like 1, 2, 3 that drop down to 720p. There's 60 of them in 1 second that you're going to get one that's going to, 1, 2, maybe 3 that are going to drop down to that lower level, but then they're going to all, range a lot higher. That's why when they say, oh, well, over a bunch of shots, we ranged it and stuff. Well, you'll go through that one frame, each frame in there and you can look at the ones and most of them are like up here, but then you get those couple that drop down here and they're like, oh yeah, it drops down to as low as 720p. Your naked eye is never going to see that. It's never going to see 720p. The upscaling, the FSR 2.0, all of the upscaling stuff, you're never going to see it drop. You'll never notice it drop to 720p. Like you will never notice that, but you might notice that the visuals will look softer. they'll look softer, you know, in the game or whatever, because it's never really hitting like a super high resolution. So that's what that means, man. When they, that's why I feel like that's the most disingenuous argument ever, when the fanboys throw it back and forth at each other, because it doesn't really matter. You're never going to really notice that unless you got editing software like I do, and you're going to go through every single frame to find that 720p frame. You're never going to notice it. So come on, guys, lay off that stuff. Xbox is going to have low resolution games this generation. PlayStation 5 is going to have games that have low resolution. The only way to get locked freaking resolution is to literally get a PC and lock your resolution to that resolution, and then deal with your frame rate, man, because that's the only way to do it. So when it comes to these negative reviews for Forspoken, guys, just understand that I'm coming at this from a different point of view. I'm coming at this as somebody that's 100% interested in playing Forspoken and putting the time into playing Forspoken to see what this game really has to offer. There's always that chance that I get into it 45 hours and I just don't care anymore. That there is that chance, but I mean, 45 hours is still more than sufficient for the $70 that I'm paying for this game. Like, it's more than sufficient. When games like Callisto Protocol come out and they're like 11 hours, and that sets the baseline for $70, man. 40 hours is pretty good. That's 3 times that game. So I got three times more worth game, as long as it entertains you for that long. If you're forcing yourself to play 40 hours of a game, that's not, you're not enjoying it. But if you can get into Forspoken and you can get over the little flaws really quick and then start moving forward, that's good, man. That's all that really matters, is your enjoyment in the video game. It doesn't matter what the Dreamcast guy said. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what any of us say. As long as you're going to enjoy the game and you find worth in that experience, perfect. That's all that really matters. The only thing that we can do is kind of tell you, like our experience with the game. So far, after all the time I put in the demo, I'm 100% on board. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll try to get the content out for you for Forspoken as quick as possible, but seeing as my hands are tied behind my back and I have to wait till launch day, it's going to take me a little while. But I will play an hour tonight. I'll give you first impressions on that first hour. Then tomorrow after work, I'll play for more hours, and then I'll get you every night. I'll get you updated, at least till I get to 5 hours, and then I'll just finish the game and put out my review. So, all right, man, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.